guys want to get started, then I'll do that.
Yeah.
All right. So today I'm gonna be showing just the Kyle general breakdown. We're gonna be going in depth with the King of Illyria himself, one of the three kings of Illyria, Kai Kiske. Start off, let's go over like kind of who Kai is as a character in the game, like in the context of the fighting game. He's basically your Shoto style character. Um, all rounder, very versatile, best at mid range. He has tools for almost every scenario. Um, his normals are great in the mid range. They have plenty of disjoints. They're not the fastest, however, they have the range to compensate. And and that's not like to say that he doesn't function anywhere else because he's also very powerful long range, full screen, as well as close up. All right, so we're just gonna get into his moves. We're gonna run down, go through each of them, and then afterward, we'll run down like basic strategies he likes to employ, different setups and mix-ups, and that to look out for, all that jazz. So his 5P is a 5 frame mid. It's -1 on block, making it great for staggers, great for take throw scenarios. Um, its positioning, like how high it hits, makes it a great anti-air, especially against like air dashes. And then like he has pretty decent reward on air hits. So like here's an example.
Oh,
Just
I
a
missed
quick,
the example.
yeah,
I
just a
missed
quick.
it.
Basically he just did close slash dash cancel. I'll play it again.
Got it.
Pre-recorded stuff? That's awesome.
That's
Yeah, I
sick.
did.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he gets pretty decent damage off of it. He also uses it to frame kill off of certain knockdowns and get a meaty grab, which is very powerful. If your opponent's not really reacting to the 5P for the grab, then they could be in a world of trouble. And then next move, 5K, arguably one of his best normals. It's very versatile, multi-functioning, like multi-use. It functions as a good meaty. It functions as it's surprisingly enough, it's a weirdly good anti-air, especially against characters like Ino, whose dash sends her kind of like up off the ground. And it's great for catching May's dolphin. It's -2 on block, meaning he can also get take throw scenarios off of it. It has very low recovery, which is why it's so good as a meaty option. Because if you hit on the last active frame, you come off +6, meaning you can frame trap with close slash, or you can run in for a take throw. It's Kai's go-to meaty if he's not using charge stun edge. Yeah, very strong tool. You will see it all the time versus Kai. You have to respect it if he's meeting you with it. If not, he gets a combo. Close slash. It's a 7 frame startup move, 6 frame active. It is one of his more rewarding openers. It's where he gets most of his combos from. It's +1 on block, meaning it's also a pretty decent stagger move. Very often you'll see Kai's do run up close slash into another run up close slash for staggers and for frame traps and stuff. The move itself drags the opponent down. Oops, typo. On hit, meaning that he gets consistency in combos where a bunch of other characters kind of have to guess because of how high they are. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's dash cancelable, jump cancelable. You want to avoid bursting on close slash because if they jump cancel it, then you're in trouble. You know, because now your burst is baited and now you're in another combo. Far slash, one of his better mid range pokes. It is it's 12 frame startup and active for another 6 frames. and 13 frame recovery. Meaning this is a move that he can get whiff punished for if he's not careful about throwing it out. Also, it can get low profiled. So if you're playing Kai, you can stun dipper it. If you're playing Soul, Night Raid Vortex, Ino has what is it?
Broke.
Yeah, she has stroke. I think that's it.
And Testament 2K through
Yeah.
the force slash.
Testament 2K, Happy Chaos 2K, Axel 2K, sometimes Bridget 2K. His reward on hit isn't very high, but obviously you don't want to be taking these all the time because he can he'll get the most he'll get at range is far slash stun dipper, meterless. With meter obviously you can go stun dipper into full combo. Is 5H, another good mid-range poke. It's generally used in combos. You rarely see it in neutral. It is 6 frames active. Once again, I'm seeing a theme here. A lot of 6 frame active moves. -8 on block, but it spaces out the opponent very well, so it's hard to punish. It pops up on hair hit, which is great for setting up for a Future arc into hard knockdown. It's disjointed, slightly harder to low profile, so it'll beat Stun Dipper, but it will not beat Night Raid or Stroke. Yeah, rarely ever sees neutral use. Good for combos. 5D. 5D, universal overhead. Kai's goes deceptively far. It will hit from where you don't think it'll hit. So even if he's at a certain certain ranges, just watch out for it, or you will get hit. It's I believe it's 24 frame startup, just like every other one, and -15 uncharged, -10 charged. Yeah. 2P. 2P is his go-to like mash button. It's his the best button he has for low commitment stagger pressure. Because it is his 5 frame. It's not low hitting. It's a mid. But he crouches down, so it's harder to hit him. It's -2 on block, making it great for tick throws, and it also sets up for a frame trap into 6H. So be wary of that. Oh, wrong way. 2K. Low risk, low poke for generally in neutral, sometimes for mix-ups. It is 6 frame startup, -2 on block, has longer range than his 5K. 5K is, yeah. And it's a little faster than 5K. 5K is 7 frames. This one is 6 frames. Often canceled into 2D for the knockdown, into CSC pressure. And then also goes right into 6H for a frame trap, should he desire. His 2S, one of his better pokes. It's a low hitting frame 10 long range poke. It's at the cost of it being like less disjointed. It's only really disjointed at the tip. As Biken round start, if you do far slash, you will smoke 2S most of the time. The hurt box retracts immediately upon the start of recovery frames, meaning it's going to be a little harder to whiff punish than other moves like his far slash. And he gets at certain range, when up close, he gets 2S 5H into Stun Dipper, or he get at max range, he'll only really get 2S into Stun Dipper. His 2H. His 2H is a big button. It's a good button for frame traps and stuff. It's a decent anti-air, very committal though, but it's his highest reward button mid-screen. It's a 11 frame startup, and it's 2 hits. So the 2 hits should chain into each other gapless. And then it's 28 frame recovery. Very negative, very negative. I think it's -11. What was that?
I said sheesh.
Yeah. 28 frame recovery. You will never see a Kai do this just like without canceling it into something. because it's just super risky unless there was conditioning involved. It's great for baiting out throws. So like if you see a Kai run up backdash and your throw gets baited, they'll normally punish with this because it's the highest damaging. They get the most reward for it. And yeah, 2D standard 2D. It's farther. It's better than most other 2Ds. It's frame 10. It goes decently far. It's one of his best tools. He gets high reward on counter hit. Yeah, there's not much else to say. Just another 2D. The People's Elbow. His 6P is one of
True.
the better one of the better 6Ps in the game. It hits pretty high up. He gets decent reward off of it in the corner. And mid screen, he can either cancel into Tira Cloud for a hard knockdown, or the 6P itself will give him a hard knockdown off of air hit, and he gets CSE Yoki off of it. 6K Sag. 6K is seen as most people want to call it a pressure reset. I don't think it's supposed to be a pressure reset because it's quite risky on offense. It is 25 frame startup, +4 on block, presenting like a strike throw scenario because they're right in front of you. You can run up throw, or you can micro dash close slash for a frame trap, catch a back dash, or catch a button or something. With certain setups, it can be used as a frame trap, burst bait, and reversal bait. Here, I have an example of it baiting Ram's super, which is 7 frame startup, the fastest reversal in the game. And then you get full punish. So yeah. Thank God they nerfed Soul Success. This is one of my favorite moves to throw out in neutral. Reward on it mid screen is very, very high. You get Future Arc loops, even higher in the corner because you get massive combo. It's very disjointed, 15 frame startup. It's -7 on block. Just a great all around move. It catches low profiling moves. You can't low profile it. You can't 6P it. You have to either he whiffs it or you block it. It has a natural 4 frame gap in between 5K and 6H, and then you can manually time close slash into 6H for a 1 frame gap for great frame traps. It's also -7 on block. The reason I decided to point this out is because it is surprisingly not punishable. It'll space him out, and most people are expecting like a special cancel. Sometimes the special cancel doesn't even come out, meaning Kai can sometimes reset pressure if the opponent isn't paying good enough attention. Yeah, but great all-around move. This is definitely one you have to watch out for. Jump punch, just a standard jump 5 frame normal. It's not too big, not anything special. You can combo off of it in certain instances. In most instances, you can combo off of it. I'll show a conversion off of it later on. Great for quick air to airs. JS, this is the scary move. This is his best air to air move, in my opinion. One of the best JSs in the game, first of all, only overshadowed by probably Biken's JS and Faust's jump heavy slash. And Gold Lewis JD. Gold Lewis JD is a career maker. 7 frame startup, very high reward on hit, and counter hit. Yeah, you do not want to contest this move. You will most of the time get smoked unless you're playing Biken. Jump kick, same frame data as jump slash for the most part. The exception being the much lower recovery. This one has 8 frame recovery as opposed to jump slash's 21 frame recovery. So jump slash is a lot more committal. This move has 8 frames of recovery, making meaning like you can combo off of it more fluidly. It loses its disjoint, and it loses some reward on hit. I believe the proration on this move is a little worse than JS. I can check that afterward. JH, a great air-to-air move, a great jump, his best jump in. 13 frame startup. It also, if he's low enough, it'll beat 6p and it'll beat grounded normals. And he can combo off of it on air hit. JD is the new really good air normal. It used to be bad. Used to be unusable.
I think it's insane now.
Yeah, it's insane now. So I forget how much. It's 13 frame startup as well. Normally you'll see a Kai jump in JH into JD. The subsequent JD makes air dash JS a true block string. It also opens up all his BRC mix-ups, like his high-low 50-50, like fuzzy mix-up. And it also is one of the best air stalls in the game. This move really opens up his combo game in the air and makes him like a menace. Shock State. Before we get into his special moves, I want to go over Shock State. Shock State is his main gimmick or special mechanic. It affects the frame rate of his special moves, meaning he'll be safer on block for the most part, and he'll do more damage, and he gains more hit stun on hit. It opens up a lot of combo opportunities for him, meaning like if you're in shock state, I mean you want to avoid being put in shock state. If you are in shock state, getting hit will not be as fun as the alternative.
Would you say that like shock state is relatively similar to like Testament Stain? Or
No, not at all. Testament Stain is another like hit that activates it. I think Stain is a lot better than Shock State, in my opinion, because like with Stain, any hit will convert into a full combo, and it also hard knockdowns. It's really fucking good. Shock State, however, is just extra frame advantage for the most part. Hit stun frame advantage. And damage in some cases. Yeah, Stun Edge is his basic projectile, 13 frame startup, negative 15 point blank. So like if he does it point blank for some reason, you can just straight up punish him. He has counter hit recovery the entire time he's recovering. The total frames on the move is 46 frames. So the entire time, that entire 46 frames, he has counter hit recovery. You can punish him and get big damage if you manage to hit him by jumping over or low profiling. Yeah, and it applies to shock state. I cannot stress enough, if you have an option to go through the projectile or you have the ability to jump in, unless he has meter, I urge you to do it. He suffers a lot for it. You'll be surprised by how late you can hit him out of it. Charge Stunnage is his main Okizeme option. And a risky pressure reset. It's 39 frame startup, plus 22 on block, and then plus 25 the opponent already had shock state applied. It's also a decently risky neutral move just because of how long the startup is. But he can use it to cover his own approaches or to like just zone out like characters like Nagori Yuki when he's on 3 blood, because all Nago can do is just jump over it. Not much. He dominates. It helps him dominate in that matchup specifically, and it also applies shock state. Stun Dipper, he needs it. It's his fastest low, 5 frame startup. It offers soft knockdown on a successful hit. And what I mean by this is both hits have to hit for a soft knockdown. Or the last hit. The last hit always has to hit for a soft knockdown. Meaning that he has to space it out if he wants that knockdown. If it's not spaced out, well enough, only the first hit will hit. You can block the second hit, and then you can punish him. He's -15, or -10 with shock state. Um, what was I gonna say? My head hurts.
You're good. You're good. I have a
Yeah.
question on Stun Dipper specifically, and you might talk
Yeah.
about this more later. But what in which situations is it that you can like sometimes get hit by the first and block the second hit?
If he does it too close to you, the gap between the gap between the first and second hit is going to be the same no matter what. So if he doesn't space out the first hit, the second hit, it'll drop. The special move will drop. He'll only hit you with the first one, and then you'll block the second one. If he messes it up enough, you can even grab him in between the first and second hit. It's fun fact. Baiken can parry in between first and second hit if he does it wrong, which is devastating. Yeah. Obviously, with RC, this move becomes the best move in the game, IMO. With meter. This is the best fuck it move in the game if he has meter. Because it becomes a threat at any range. That whole like 80% of the screen is his. He controls it. Even if you jump over it, he can PRC, grab you, he can 2H, he can 6P you, whatever. He Unless you're like ready to like punish it immediately or punish it before he can RC, yeah, that's his screen. Fujarark, the better than Greed Sever.
That's a hot
Fujarark
take.
is I don't think it is, to be honest. I think it really is better than Greed. Greed Sever sucks. Fujarark is a very versatile move. It's useful in combos, in neutral, and in pressure. In combos, it offers HKD, hard knockdown, and allows for it allows him to extend his combos within if there's not a lot of gravity scaling. Like mid screen, he can do like a close slash 5H Fujarark into 5H into another Fujarark. In neutral, it's a risky neutral skip used to generally just hard call out jumps. If you block it in the air, he will be plus, and if you get hit, he gets a combo. Yeah, it's high reward. You don't want to get hit by this in the air or crouching. In pressure, it's a decent pressure reset when he has shocks. When the opponent is applied with shock state, it goes if you block it standing, the move goes from -2 to +6 with shock state, and on crouchers it goes from +5 to +12. The move on hit also removes shock state. Yeah, please block it standing, or if you're ready to react to it, use 5P, and then you can combo off of your 5P into whatever. Vapor Thrust, his DP. It's his frame 1 invincible reversal, the slowest DPs in the game. Everyone else has 9 frame DPs. Kai does not. His is 13 and 11. Heavy Vapor Thrust. It moves him forward, making it a little weird to punish, because you have to actually like turn around, run up to him, and then punish. And it also removes shock state on hit. Both DPs are throwable. DPs in general in this game are throwable. If you are trying to you want to hard call out a DP, you can absolutely just throw the DP. Deerclap, my favorite move. Not really. Deerclap is his typical combo / block string ender. It gives him hard knockdown as well as off the ground properties. So like he can, if he's in the corner and he hits you with Deerclap, he can generally 5H or 6H or run up 2K or 5K, and it'll pick you back up off the ground. He can continue his combo. On block, the move is -8. Very punishable. However, it spaces him out enough that that he's safe generally. It's harder to punish him because he's so far out. If you IB this move, it is so important to IB this move. If you IB him, he is -8. You can do anything that is 8 frames or less, and punish him. So like if you IB, you can get a close slash, you can grab him, you can 2K 2D, you can 5P, you can 2P, and it applies shock state. Ride the Lightning. Ride the Lightning is a frame 1 invulnerable super, so that means you can't throw this one. You can throw DPs, not supers. It has very large travel distance, meaning Kai can break the wall from around mid-screen, mid-stage. And it also has 9 frame startup. However, to balance that out, he is -82 on block.
Oh, what?
Wow.
-82.
Why?
Yeah,
I
the
don't know.
optimal punish for if you block it and they don't have a meter is literally just fully charged dust. Or at least that's one of the best punishes you can get. It's very easy. It's happened to me.
Yeah. So you can do anything you want. If you're in the corner, you can jump over him, close slash, combo. If not, you can fully charge dust. You could literally just do anything. Sacred Edge. This is a good super. It's okay. It's classic projectile super. It's very advantageous on block, not quite as much as charge stun edge. But that changes when they're in shock state. It's +10 on block, and then when they have shock state on, it applies guard crush, and it's +26 on block. Meaning, you can, after a shock state Sacred Edge, you can run up, throw. You can pretty much do what you want as Kai for the most part, because there is no throw protection afterward. Dragon install.
I have seen somebody on hit throw. What's the name of the last super? I forget.
Ride the Lightning?
Right.
Yeah.
Not Ride the Lightning. The other one. Sorry.
Sacred Edge.
Yeah, Sacred Edge. Where they throw Sacred Edge and they hit with it, and they throw another one, and you get hit with that one too, because you're still not recovered from getting hit with the first Sacred Edge, and take like 40% of your HP. It's crazy.
So Dragon install. Dragon install is Kai's new comeback mechanic. He didn't have this in any of the previous games. After the super hits, he's +4 on block. On hit, he gets a hard knockdown, and he can follow up with charge stun edge Oki. The install buffs Kai's movement speed to become like among one of the best in the game. I don't know if he's as fast or faster than Chip. I don't know where he ranks among them. I wish there was like a way to know. Like I wish there was a chart or something on Dust Loop. His special moves all get buffed across the board. They receive higher damage, and all their chip damage is tripled. He gains access to better frame data on his specials. Charge Stun Edge becomes +45 as opposed to +22. And Shock State disappears. No more Shock State. However, all his special moves act as if Shock State already exists. So like Sacred Edge, you know how it didn't guard crush unless Shock State was already applied? Sacred Edge will now always guard crush. With the caveat of this move only being accessible when Kai is at 30% health.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Well,
I don't have questions, but I do actually want to point out a couple things.
Mhm.
I thought that presentation was very comprehensive.
Mhm.
Just as a Kai player, there were a couple things that I wanted to point out.
Mhm.
When you talked about the JS and then the JK, I
Yeah.
liked that you pointed out the difference in the recovery between the JK and the JS.
Yeah.
I have had people complain to me about the JS because it is absolutely one of the best airs in the game. I don't think anyone will
Yeah.
contest that. But just if you fight a Kai that is throwing that out, really take advantage of that insane recovery. Because when I miss it, I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, you're done. You're done.
Yeah, if I like try to do a hard call out with JS and I jump and throw it out immediately and they're on the ground, I think basically any character in the game you can just get like a hard counter slash
Mhm.
counter hit close slash combo, especially like if you're close to the wall, then I'm dead.
Yeah.
And then in Dragon install, the really scary thing you need to watch out for if he gets Oki on you, the the charge Sun Edge, with how monstrously plus it is, he actually does get a 4-way mix up.
Yeah, he does.
So
Okay.
yeah, I get people with that like all the time, because they don't realize that I jump. They don't real they think they go to block high, because normal charge Sun Edge, by the time you land, you can't you're not plus enough to do all that crazy stuff. But with the charge Sun Edge is still going on by the time you land after charge Sun Edge Dragon install Oki, so then you can get a low.
Understandable.
Yeah, and you can even go onto the other side and do the same stuff.
Yeah,
So you need to be aware of that.
stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly like that.
Yeah. So I wanted to show the difference between the chip damage of Kai in Dragon Install and not in Dragon Install. So like, let's take Diraklop for example. Let me just make sure his health doesn't recover. Okay. So not too much. It's just before the G, right? Right. Let's keep that in mind. Just before the G, and then in Dragon Install, way farther, way more chip damage. Yeah, he does a lot of chip damage in Dragon Install. His specials become better. So like against Leo specifically, if we go full screen and do like a fireball contest, we will lose if we are not in Dragon Install. We will lose. See that? If we are in Dragon Install, however, Oh,
he even beats the H
we no
fireball?
longer lose.
Oh.
We trade at worst.
This is very good knowledge from me. Thank you.
Yep. The biggest thing about his fireball, his normal fireball in shock state or in Dragon Install, is that it gains another hit, which is very important for two particular reasons, and I'll show you those reasons in a sec. So now, when you're in a fireball war, see how nothing happens there because they clash. Since it has another hit, you win. Kai wins the fireball war. And the second reason this is so important, the second hit is so important, is in the Potemkin matchup, which is another matchup that he generally is considered to struggle in. This makes the matchup very, very hard for Potemkin. Dragon Install. I think it's a really good matchup for Kai because of this. It beats Potemkin's armor. Otherwise, if you do like a single hit, you get smoked. But since there's a second hit, you don't have to worry about Potemkin's armor anymore. See that? Yeah. His Stun Dipper in Dragon Install. This is another very important thing about Dragon Install Kai, why he's so like messed up. Is instead of getting a soft knockdown like normal, like that, he now gets a hard knockdown off of Stun Dipper. And you could get run CSE Oki. His DP gains extra hits, meaning he can combo off of it meterlessly. If I can do it. And get a hard knockdown. He gains DP loops mid-screen and in the corner. So like his reward overall and consistency is just higher. His supers gain massive buffs, such as like his Ride the Lightning normally only does like 5 hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But in Dragon Install, I think that's a little more than 5. On Sacred Edge, he can also combo off of Sacred Edge mid-screen now too. He's a powerhouse in Dragon Install. What else? What was the other move? Fujarark. Normally, you know how you see stand block Fujarark, he's -2, right? Well, now, if he uses Fujarark in... The Themben's a bad example because his 5p isn't that fast.
Mhm.
But if he Fujarark is always +7. See that? That's a frame tight block string right there. And then you can delay slightly for counter to punish a mash. His what was I gonna say? Yeah, his reward in general becomes way more consistent, becomes way higher. He gains access to his infinite that he needed so much. The funny infinite, woohoo, yay! He needed it.
Is that one of those ones that only works on like big bodies like Potemkin and stuff, or is it?
No, it works on everyone.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It works on everyone.
I forget, how much did you talk about the frame data for the activation? Because there are a couple of important things in there too.
I talked about how it was +4 on block.
Oh, okay, yeah. There's that, and then sorry.
It's frame 11 startup.
Yeah.
It's not
And-
invincible. Not invincible.
Yeah, it's not invincible, and if you have a really big brain, and you have a good reversal, and you're close enough, you can actually reversal between the super activation flash and the actual like attack. It's only someone has only ever done it to me once, but if you really want to destroy the Kai player's soul, you use your reversal at that point. I don't know like the window for like actually inputting it, but it's really silly when it happens.
Generally, if Kai uses Dragon Install, he's most likely at kill. You know.
Yeah, you almost always
kill
die
off
then.
that
It's really
reversal.
funny.
That's actually very good to know. I feel like I always respect guys when I see the Dragon Install coming.
So let's talk about what he gets off of knockdowns. So let's talk about throw specifically. Off of throw, he can either do CSE, dash of CSE, or he gets 5k dash cancel 5k OP. This right here, that's auto timed so that it hits on the last active frame. Kai is +6 off of that 5k. Right there. He's +6 right here. Meaning, he can bait out all reversals except for Baiken and Anji parry. No, not after block. Is it? Yeah, after recovery, right?
Yeah, it's after recovery.
You do not want a reversal there. If you want a reversal, definitely want to delay a little bit until he commits to a close slash or into a throw. Unless you're using a DP. If he does throw, your DP is getting smoked. It catches most options. It catches jump. It catches backdash. And it catches... What else does it catch? It catches burst, I believe. So that was them jumping. That was the Mei jumping. It catches on backdash. You can OS. Oops. See how backdash beats the 5K? This is an RPS thing right here. Backdash will beat 5K, but don't hit at anything after the 5K. Because Kai can react to the backdash and then punish you for trying to hit a button. Or what you want to do is block the 5K, but FD it. FD will destroy the setup. Where is... No, don't backdash. See, because now I'm super far away, and all I get is a far slash. I can't follow up and do stagger pressure with close slash. I can't frame trap with 6H. I can't do... I'm not +1 anymore off of the close slash. I'm now -5, I believe. FD is definitely the answer to that setup. And that forces me to be a lot more linear with how I run my offense, because now I have to go into CSE, and I don't get any more any blatantly I don't have that strike throw scenario anymore. Off of CSE in the corner, I can do stuff like, oh, I fucked it up. I can do stuff like this. Keep messing it up. And I can do that, or I can air dash after the JD. I mess up. If it lets me.
The lab is everybody's worst enemy in these recordings for sure.
Huh, what was that?
I said the lab is always everybody's worst enemy in these recordings and stuff.
I just can't do it right now. But yeah, he gets this into air dash. And then obviously the JD and the air dash JS is a true block string. Another thing Kais will do, like really good Kais, they will BRC mix-ups. So off of like CSE, they'll do backdash BRC into instant overhead with JS. If I can time it.
The fact that he gets JS instant overhead is, I think, mostly unique to Kai.
Yeah, most characters get jump punch instant overhead. He gets JS. And obviously his reward is fairly high. Even mid-screen, if I can hit it.
It's not easy to hit.
I just can't do it today. Gotta do.
There you go.
There we go. And then after the Fujirak, there's a strike throw scenario. And in the corner, he gets... Oops. Generally, when he's doing this, you'll have Shock State on already. But if not, even then, he gets a pretty high rewarding combo. That was supposed to be super, but you get the idea. He gets a lot of damage off of it in the corner. What else? What else? Fujirak. So let's say I hit you. I hit you with Fujirak. This is hard knockdown. I get CSC. Or I can do oops. Or I can do my 5K dash cancel 5K shenanigans. Off of Iraklat, the knockdown is not as good. I get a meaty Fujirak. Like that. Or I can do one of those. IAD, FDC, like FD cancel, air dash into JS. Yeah. Let me show you what I meant by Stun Dipper. So Stun Dipper, if I do it up here, See how the combo counter didn't go up?
Oh yeah.
You would have been able to block that second hit. I have to space myself out like back here. Or just only hit you with the second hit, which is a mid. I don't want to do that. I want to hit you with the first hit into the second hit. With RC, Stun Dipper is way more of a threat at so many other ranges. Because now it adds on the dash momentum. So that's how far I went there. Oops. And obviously I go much farther with dash momentum. Now, Stun Dipper with meter becomes a threat at any range, pretty much. Because now I could just do... Oops. And then I get, like, pretty high reward off of it. I can go into CSC, or I can just go for a wall break. And obviously, a lot of damage.
Do you typically find yourself going for the meaty kick option over like doing safe jumps, or
All
does
the
Kai
time.
have very many safe jumps?
Yeah, the meaty kick option is my primary, because this also doubles as a safe jump, pretty much.
Yeah.
It is a safe setup. Unless my opponent shows that they can deal with it by FDing, I will go for this most of the time.
Okay.
My brain is just off right now. I'm so sorry.
I have
Monday.
a question that you might be able to riff on a little bit.
Yeah.
In one of the things that I tend to like struggle with is like when I'm in like corner pressure against Kai, right? And he runs his block string, ends it with dire clot, right?
Yeah.
And then now I always end up in the situation where I almost feel like I'm still in a losing situation after the dire clot, when I feel like it also should kind of be my turn. Like, I blocked all the things that should have earned my turn, but because of the distance and partially because I'm playing Testament, like the whole thing kind of just plays out really poorly for me. Is there anything you like that people tend to do after dire clot that like makes that extra miserable for you?
What do you mean? Like things that I tend to do after Deer Clot?
Well, yeah, or like things that like I, as the person in the corner, can use to kind of get out in that situation. Because usually, like, I feel like I'm usually getting hit by like a 6S or something afterwards, right?
Right. So, okay. So, after Deer Clot, it is your turn. I'm -8. So, the thing about Deer Clot is that it's relatively low recovery, meaning that it's super easy for me to just hit another button afterward. So like I can just 2S right there. If you don't do something immediately that outranges me, I can just like 2S for free pretty much. Or I can 5H into Sacred Edge and follow up. Now I have Guard Crush. Or I can try to like, if you try to run at me, I can 2K 2D. I can check you with 2P. The biggest thing about punishing Deer Clot, if you don't IB it, is that you want to stay at range. With Testament, let me check how fast because Testament Far Slash, I believe, is good for punishing me trying to hit a button after Deer Clot.
Okay.
Testament Far Slash is 12 frame. So yeah, I have, after you block Deer Clot, if you immediately hit Far Slash, I will get smoked if I do anything except for 6P.
Okay.
If you do 2S, I might just get smoked altogether. I don't know if 2S reaches...
Our 2S's are almost identical, I think, as far as like that specific interaction.
Yeah, we can test this out real quick.
Because I always feel
do
like
2S.
I'm like trying to like, usually my gut instinct is that like I'm trying to press a button, which I'm a Testament player, so it ends up being 6P, which like loses to 2S, for instance. Or like I'm trying to jump out of the corner, but you're just at such perfect like 6P range there, or just doing air to airs, and that I feel like that's the thing that gets me the most when I'm fighting Kais.
Right. So on block, where's 2S? Here it is. Okay. So I do this, and then I 2S, I get smoked.
Okay.
6P gets smoked, obviously. Far slash will beat you. Unless you run forward a little bit.
Okay.
You have like, yeah, unless you run forward a little bit. But far slash is also committal for me because you can 6P it.
A little bit RPS, but
A little bit, but it is in your favor.
mhm.
So yeah, if I will 2S, and that will get smoked by your 2S, and then you can 2H into H Grave Reaper into 5K into 6H, and then do all that jazz.
Okay, cool. That makes me feel a little bit better because I feel like that's the biggest thing with like Kai corner pressure. I mean, obviously you're blocking a lot of highs and lows and stuff, but when it hits this point, it's just like, yeah, it's my turn. Oh, I fucked up, and now I'm just taking 50% in the corner and
Right. Yeah, the biggest thing to remember is you do not want to run at Kai, because that takes time, and that is time that you more or less don't really have.
With his like standard corner block string that involves like Future Arc,
Mhm.
I feel like I remember hearing that you can like 5P or 6P the Future Arc in there usually. Is that, or maybe I'm thinking of the jumpy overhead thingy?
yeah.
This one?
The Fuja arc. The
Oh,
Future
this.
doing
that
perfect,
thing,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, what about it again?
When it's used in block strings, do you have any like defensive options against that, or do you just gotta take the hit?
Yes, you do actually. Let me show you. I'm gonna have him not Deer Cloud, Fujarark at position reset. That's all you gotta do. It's way easy. It's way harder than it looks, just because you have to be looking out for it.
Okay.
It is 24 frame startup, but he is very vulnerable during startup, so you get a full combo off of it.
Can you do that while you're in shock state too?
Yeah. If I'm in shock state, yeah, you can absolutely do that.
Okay.
In fact, you want to look out for it more when you're in shock state, just because that's when he wants to do it, when he'll get the plus frames off of it.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
it doesn't expand your hurt box to it. It just changes the frame data after you get hit by it or block it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What else? Any other questions at all?
let's see.
I can ask the question that I've asked everybody so far, which is when do you burst and when do you not burst against Kai?
Exactly.
You can burst during this move. You can react to this move and burst it actually, during a combo. So like, let's say I get a stun dipper. You can react to Fujarark and burst right there.
Okay.
Unless I have meter and I'm like specifically trying to call out your burst. Because then I can just like, because then I can just like do something like that and just block it. And yeah, just block right there. But most of the time, Kais aren't really gonna do that unless they're insane. I wanted to go over back to what you were asking, Pariah, because another option you have against Diraclot is IB. Because it leaves him super close. You immediately get a punish. Especially if he's doing like a 2K 2D. Let me set him to block all. And then position reset, put him like super close. On. I got this. There we go. See?
Okay.
Yep. Or you can IB. If I can get it. One of these days.
IB's hard
And
to
you're out.
land, turns out.
Yeah. If you practice it enough, it gets way easier. I haven't practiced it enough, but yeah, you can IB it, punish him with a grab, run your offense.
And in Dragon Install, oh sorry.
Yeah, I was about to get to that. In
Okay.
Dragon Install, it doesn't matter if you IB the first hit. You have to IB the last hit.
Okay.
That was a bad example. I meant to IB only the first hit, but I IB'd both the first and last hit. Whoops.
Interesting.
Oops.
So probably hold that shit in Dragon Install.
Well, I almost feel like because it's a multi-hit, right? Like the second hit will always be coming at the same time. So if they're hitting Dire Claw, you almost have more time to react in Dragon Install.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, sure, yeah, fair enough.
If you can react and IB something, like you got a couple more frames to do it if they're in the install. That's the thing that I think LK used to rage about with Milia Close Slash. Was that you
One
could
thing
always
to
like
be
IB the
weird-
second hit.
One thing to be weird about with IBing Dragon Install Kai, Dierkla, is that he's -6 now. You can't punish him with a close slash anymore. It has to be a 6-frame normal or faster. So like 5P or Kai 2K specifically. Yeah.
Okay.
Oops. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you IB the first hit. Has to be the last hit. Any more questions? Is that it? I think that might be it on my end. Unless you guys have
I
anything
do have one
else.
question.
What's up, Tanara?
Oh, so hi. I asked this in the Guilty Gear Strive chat, but how do you generally recommend that people deal with Stun Dipper, especially during neutral? Like counterplay?
So Kais, unless they're super crackheads, will rarely ever stun dipper without meter. Other than that, certain characters can punish it by jumping over it, and then like Baiken specifically, Baiken can Baiken can use JH preemptively and catch stun dipper. A bunch of characters like round start, they can get a like IAD back head jump heavy slash. That's what I do with against Kai when I'm playing Kai. Testament, I think Testament round start can do IAD back into H Grave Reaper. Jump H Grave Reaper. Or I think the classic just IAD back JH should work round start. Where's Stun Dipper? There it is. Oops. Well, let me get the round start. Holy cow, that's fast.
Thunderbird,
So that
fast
doesn't
button.
work. So you want to ID back JH. You won't get. Will you? Was that? Oh yeah, you just will get that. Yeah. You can't really. You can try to clash with it. But generally, as Testament, I'm like, personally, I'm doing that anyway. But yeah, in neutral, you have to watch out for it. You kind of just have to like block low. As Testament, you can just set out a S-Grave Reaper, and force Kai to have to jump over it. Don't even like give him the chance to stun dipper. During pressure, stun dipper is very potent against Testament specifically, just because it goes under Crow. Let me set him to on block.
It's the God button for that matchup for sure.
It is the God button.
Can you
have to be
stuff it
very-
with like a fast low or anything like that?
You will trade unless
Okay.
your low is disjointed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can try to use 2H to preemptively catch it, but I don't know how effective that'll be.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, I forgot to turn that off.
There's a interaction that I end up in fairly frequently, and this might just be like like one of those interactions that just happens because I'm scrambling and scrubbing it out. But the interaction is usually like I end up jumping over the Kai while they're doing Stun Dipper. And I've tried to lab this out, but really couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong. Where it's like they're Stun Dippering at me, I jump over them, and I feel like like the way the frame data works, I should have time to like land and do a punish, but I never can actually get one. Is that just kind of like pretty safe overall? We just kind of return to neutral.
So Kai Stun Dipper. I forget how much recovery it has. Let me check. 26 frame recovery. So if you're jumping over it and he's already moving away from you, by the time you get to him, he'll have recovered. So generally, you want to either follow him and punish directly, like with the ID back to H, or with it, like stop him from doing it with that. Use that to stop him, or you just want to block it if he doesn't have meter.
The ID back makes a lot of sense. I didn't even consider that of like, usually I think of like jumping over things going forward, but going back because you follow him, you get that. Probably most characters have JH there that into a pretty good punish, so it makes sense.
Yeah, I'm always doing this against Kai. Just to watch out for the Stun Dipper. But yeah, Testament has the advantage that they get to do this. Oh, never mind. Well, even then, this is safe. Just be careful, be mindful that you're not like immediately doing Crow, because you will get smoked by Stun Dipper. I wonder if you can.
Like certain spacings, you can do the Grave Reaper again.
So I do have a question, and I do ask it to each and every one of you. Why Kai out of everyone?
So I started the Guilty Gear Strive is my first Guilty Gear, and my friend forced me to play it. During the the open beta before it came out.
What a good friend!
Right, and I was looking through the roster. I don't really want to play the game, and I'm like, Kai looks cool, so I picked him, and I've been a massive fan ever since then. At the beginning, I was very like kind of on and off with Guilty Gear. I was like, yeah, I don't know if the game's really for me. But then later on, I came around, and Kai's been my #1 since then.
Awesome.
I like Goody Two Shoes characters.
Huh? Yeah, Goody Two Shoes.
I like Goody Two Shoes characters very much.
Well, he's a Goody Two Shoes now, but he was a genocidal good boy.
He had a ponytail back in the day.
Yeah,
he had
a bad boy.
He also canonically married a 10-year-old.
He's also very pretty.
Yeah. He's what?
Yeah.
He's also very pretty.
He is very
He
pretty.
is very pretty.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much, Ren.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Do you have anything any last bits?
No, I think that's everything.
Cool.
Yeah, just remember to 5P Food Direct or block it high. Watch out for Stun Dipper when he has meter. And respect his OP options. DPs will go through CSE, but you have to be careful either way.
I think the DPing the Dragon install is probably the most Giga Chad thing that I've learned. So
it is.
Yeah, I can have him so you can see it real quick.
I'd love to see that.
Learning about the safe meaty 2K or the K button was like really, that's gonna help a lot, because that Leo does that too with his 5P, where you meaty with it and then you're safe to reversals, and I feel like that probably baits out a lot of people.
Let's set it up so that point blank. Let's give him less health than that. Let's say he's at like 10. Yeah. Roll. Come on. Will HDP kill there? Yeah. Okay. So.
That's so good.
On position reset. we will have him do Dragon Install. See if I can get it.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Pain.
That's a
You
perfect
can even
note
super
to,
him.
to end the. Oh, here we go. The perfect note to end the recording on. We're gonna take a real quick bow break, and Kawi's already here. We're gonna get the